Welcome to Mimaki Northeast. My name is David Saylor. We're going to review the process on how to properly load the Mimaki UCJV 330. Now this will work for any Mimaki printer cutter. They're all pretty much the same. But we're going to go through the basics and then stay tuned, watch the end of this video for printing perfection. How to attain perfection on your Mimaki UCJV 330. Now here are the parts of the printer. Obviously, you can't run this with the lid open. We kind of have it rigged over here so we can. So these are the media clamps. You're going to want to push this on the media to hold the media down. These are the pinch rollers, and on the bottom is the grit roller. So these pinch rollers have to be on one of these lines, and you want to separate them evenly through the width of your material. Now here's a great tip. If you're only using 30-inch material, you can tape these vacuum holes down with some painter's tape. And what that's going to do, that's going to improve the vacuum if you're only running 30-inch material. So pinch roller, grit roller, you're going to position the pinch roller above where the grit roller is, spaced evenly. Let's run around to the back, load a roll of material. So these things here, these two things, that's what I rest my material on before I load it. So I'm just going to take my roll and I'm going to place it on there. And then we're going to load the left side first. Now what's key crucial is this plastic piece. That rests on this metal part. That's the media stopper. That's going to help us load the material straight. So we first load the left side of the roll and make sure it's on there. Then we're going to load the right side of the roll, nice and snug, and then we're going to tighten the set screw. Then we're going to feed the material through the pinch rollers and the grit roller, and when it's in there, you can feel the brake, we can feel the media stopper, and we can lower the pinch roller and grit roller. So that's pretty much loaded there, but we're going to go in front and make sure it's absolutely loaded for printing perfection. To ensure that the media is loaded properly, what we're going to do is raise the pinch rollers, and I'm going to pull the material through. So that is the media stop. This is straight. You can feel it is loaded straight. The material is not tunneled. Your roll of vinyl isn't tunneled. You want to make sure that the vinyl is even. And now see how the media is stopped? This is crooked. You can see I can't load it crooked. This is straight. This is crooked. So you can actually feel that the material is loaded straight with that media stop. Okay, once you have it in position, you're going to hold it and lower the pinch rollers and put on the media guides. Once you lower the pinch rollers, this menu will appear. We will review this in printing perfection, but right now our head is set to low and this material is set up as thin, so we're going to select enter to load the thin material. Then we're going to select media width with redetect, enter. So what's going to happen is the printer will detect the right and left side of the material. And what the Mimaki UCJV 330 detects is a gloss difference. It detects a gloss difference. It doesn't detect a color of a material. And you want to make sure that your material is fed past this black portion right here. You want to make sure it's fed past this black portion, and that's where it reads. The next thing it's going to ask us is, how many pinch rollers are we using? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In this case, we're using 7, so we're going to select enter. And here it tells us our head height is low, and the material is 53.42 inches. Now, we don't want to waste all that material, so we're going to feed it back. and then select enter. That sets your origin point to 0, 0. We didn't change the origin point left to right. We just changed where the printer will start printing. Now for Mimaki printers, where the heck is that origin point? Where will it begin printing? So if you look here on the cutting strip, the printer will begin printing right here. Now what we want is printing perfection, and to load the printer perfectly so we can run through a 150-foot roll of material, what we're always going to do, without a doubt, is load the take-up reel. And what this does is, it's going to make sure that there's tension from the take-up to the media feed roller. And I don't want to waste all this material, so here's a little hint. I just cut off a thin piece of vinyl, and I'm going to attach that to the leading edge of your material. And then I'm going to come down here on the take-up reel, and I'm going to attach it to the take-up reel. It's a little bit too much material, so I'm going to cut this off. So I'm going to attach this to the take-up. I always suggest, always load the take-up reel. So now I'm pulling it as tight as I can, and I'm affixing that to the take-up. Now what you can do here to make sure that there's tension from the back of the printer to the front, we're going to lift the pinch rollers, and I'm going to enable the take-up. And that's going to pull the material from the media feed roller through the printer. And you can see it's moving very slowly. So what we're going to do here is drop the pinch rollers. And I know we have to detect the media again, but this is going to ensure a flat and even roll, so you can blow through a 150-foot roll of material without any problem. There won't be any mistracking. Let's talk about printing perfection. Now what we want to do is we want to save two things, two very important things: feed correction and drop position correction. Why? Why do we have to do this? The new Mimaki printers are pretty sophisticated. They're just, the quality is outstanding, but we have to tell the printer what material is loaded, what thickness and weight material is loaded, so it can perform properly. Now, the great thing about Mimaki printers is we can save different media types, so you really only have to do it once for each media type. And then when you load it, you can select that media type again. Now you can see in our Mimaki Rockaway office, we've only set up the thin material because that's pretty much, everything that we use. But why? Why must we do this? So we're dropping twice as many dots at half the size on a carriage that's going 30 miles an hour. So key crucial is the difference between the print head and the media. Once you put thicker material in, it's going to change the dot, or the way the dot will drop on that material. I don't know where I got this graphic from, but it's a good representation. You can see with the A picture, that one, the dot is dropping exactly on the media where expected. Now when you have a further head gap, the dot isn't exact. So if you're printing and your fine text is washing out, or your colors are acting a little funny, we have to do the drop position alignment. And you can see from that D version, that's the drops are everywhere. With the Mimaki printers, there's 3 head heights: low, medium, and high. Here in the US, or folks that use the imperial measurement system, we kind of get caught up a lot between mils, which is thousandths of an inch, and millimeter. I misspeak all the time when talking about this, but I wanted to clear this up for the head height, or the head gap, so we can ensure that we're doing the right thing. So the low setting, the low head height setting, is 2 millimeters, or 78 mil. Medium setting is 2.5 millimeters, and the high setting is 3 millimeters. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to us? So basically, on the low setting, with print head set to low, you're going to use material that is 0 to 10 mil thick. Okay, that's thousandths of an inch, or 0.05 millimeters, thin as thin, 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 to 0.25 millimeters. When you load thicker material in, like a 10 mil or greater material, you're going to want to switch that print head to medium. And then when you go up to 20 mil material, 20 mil or thicker, you want to switch it to high. Now the UCJV 330 and the UCJV 300 can take up to 1 millimeter thick material, or 39 mil, 0.039 inches. That's the thickest material you can put in there. So here is the process. Once you load material, okay, if you're loading your material for the first time, thin material for the first time, we want to do two things. We want to do feed correction, which is going to correct feed direction. Okay, the feed direction of the material, we're going to do the setting for that. The next correction we're going to do is the drop position correct. And that's going to correct our bidirectional print dots, okay? Or scan direction in Mimaki, right? Scan is machine direction. So feed direction compensation we're going to do, and we're going to do scan drop position detect. Now the great thing with the 330 is this. You can hit autocorrect and go away for 10 minutes and come back, and it will do all these corrections for you. Then it will be saved on whatever media you did that correction to. So let's say you load a medium material or a 15 mil thick material, 15 thousandths of an inch material. You're going to select the next media, okay, a different media name, give it a name, and then you're going to do these alignments. And you only have to, you only have to do it once, right? We only have to do it once. Now, the only time when you're going to do the alignment again is if you notice smaller text is a little bit fuzzy or your colors are a little bit wonky. That's it. So once you do these settings, you can load the media and you're off to the races. Load that material properly and you're off to the races. What we're talking about now is printing perfection. We're going to do settings to help you achieve printing perfection, and maybe you'll understand a few of these that you should change. So the first one is media setting, and we are going to set up our material. So media setting, the first thing we're going to do is detail setting. And we're going to set the vacuum, which will work great for our material. So thicker material, you're going to want to do a stronger vacuum. And thinner material, you're going to want to do a weaker vacuum. For now, I'm just going to leave it on standard. The next thing we're going to look at is function setting. So logical seek, we are going to turn on. Margin settings. I'm going to select enter. And here, I'm going to set it to minus 0.35. So this is enough for our media clamps on the right and left side. So we'll print just over those media clamps. So your margins, you're going to set to minus 0.35 inches. Space between printing, none. Space feed mode, we're going to change this to continuous. If you have it on intermittent, it will not skip over white space. View feed, we're going to turn that on. Feed before cutting, we're going to turn that on. Illumination, this controls your light. Auto remote. So, oh my goodness gracious, UCJV 330, if you had a Mimaki printer previously, you had to put it in remote. The 330 will automatically go into remote mode. And this is your ionizer, so you can turn the ionizer on. Logical seek, we're going to turn that on. Power setting, auto power off, I set that to 60 minutes. So those are pretty much, the settings that we're going to set. Now I have to do a media read detect that will check the margin setting. Wow, that was a ton of information in there, but I hope it helped you out. And the next one I'd watch is, printing and cutting on a UCJV. It'll show you how to set the cutter depth and how to set the pressure correctly on the UCJV 330 printer. If you like this video, if it helped you out, please click the like button and you can share the video. You know, subscribe to the channel. It's YouTube at PG Sign Video.